What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here with another post-match fan show as Spurs beat Fulham 2-1 to extend their unbeaten run at the start of the season. Now that's 6 games, 4 wins, 2 draws, currently sitting second in the Premier League table with Man City playing right now. Really good day for Spurs. I think it was a really good performance, probably our best performance of the season so far. Maybe Southampton, you could argue Southampton was better, but I think today was really impressive in terms of ball playing abilities from our centre-backs, building up play from the back, not only relying on counter-attacks and transitions. It was really good to see. Richarlison getting his first start as well. I thought he was really impressive along with Longley. And not only that, but Dane Scarlett got 2 goals for Portsmouth. So a really good day all round. How are you feeling, Sim?
Yeah, I think we were really, really good today. And especially given the level of performances we've been given recently, and then we had a very disappointing deadline day. All we could needed was, Spurs to have a limp performance today or dropping points or anything like that. That would have been very disappointing. But we turned up against a Fulham side who have given some big sides a lot of trouble this season, start the season well. And I think we thoroughly dominated throughout the whole game. And I think they scored really against run of play. If they would have got anything out of that game, it would have been a total injustice. And I think we completely dominated Fulham from start to finish. And I think we were absolutely superb throughout the 90 minutes. And I'm very, very happy with the level of performance I'm seeing. And I'm happy with the new guys coming in and playing really well and contributing to the team. I thought there were some really strong performances today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what you guys have to say on the game today. I'm really sorry, but we're going to have to cut it at 6:30 exactly on the dot today, as we've got a certain someone's wedding to get to. But so when we bring you on, I think it's going to have to be a bit shorter than usual so we can get through as many people as are in the back end today. So let's start off and let's get going, and let's start off with Hassan. Hassan, how you doing, buddy?
Doing very good. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, mate. Good, mate. What do you want to talk about, and how do you think of the game today? What do you think of the game?
Yeah, massive improvement on, I think, even the Southampton performance. I think in Southampton we were a bit poor in the first half, and I think we were dominant for the entire game. I think only the last 10, 15 minutes was a bit nervy. But yeah, it's amazing how your performance gets better once you use better players.
Funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. I'm not surprised because we have Conte's system relies on being able to play out from the back, and we finally had 2 centre backs on either side who could play out from the back. And I think Romero, Longley, and even Dyer, they deserve a lot of credit for the way they played and how calm they were. And there weren't any, apart from Longley's slip and Romero's dodgy tackle on Mitrovic at the end. I can't really fault them, and I think we should have ended it probably 5-4, 5-1, especially without XG. I think it was like 3.09 or something. But yeah, Richarlison was great as well. I think it's a shame that he took his shirt off and ran around for it to get disallowed. That's a bit sad, but yeah, he could have scored 2 goals. I think Cess was good. Yeah, even Emerson was, okay defensively and nothing going forward, but that's what we've come to sort of accept with him. So yeah, I'm really happy. It was the first time where I was sitting there and I wasn't bored because we were actually transitioning well from defense to attack. It was nice to see quick passes, and I think seeing Bentancur back in that midfield, I think Højbjerg did well, but I think Bentancur really showed how important he is for that pivot. So yeah, really, really impressed.
Yeah, and after all the bit of negativity over the last couple of days, with the deadline day, disappointing deadline day, and some poor performances, one against West Ham as well. How nice was it to get a win in the manner that we did? I know it wasn't a big scoreline, but the scoreline flattered Fulham, didn't it?
Yeah. It was really calming because I'm sure a lot of fans were thinking, we've signed these players, we've got a full pre-season, and it's like this. But I think it showed now, once we get those new signings in, things will improve. And the first proper performance has come today, and we can expect to even Son. I know he didn't score, but I think he was better. I think he was better today. And he's improving. I just need him to get that goal, and I think everything just seems to be going not his way when it comes to that aspect. But
He'll get
yeah,
there,
we
won't he?
definitely, yeah, he'll get there. He will. No one, there shouldn't be any doubts. He'll get there eventually. Interesting that Conte took Kulu off for the game instead of Richarlison, but I think Richie played amazing on that right hand side, and yeah, a lot of people were doubting him. Oh, he's come on for substitute appearances. Doesn't mean he's going to play well for the full 90, and he proved a lot of people wrong. Especially that acrobatic finish which hit the post. That was amazing. So yeah, really, really good performance, and I'm a lot more confident going into that Marseille game now. That we can pull that off, because if you had asked me after West Ham, I would have been a bit more anxious. But no, definitely very impressed, and it was a good performance.
Awesome. And before we let you go, who was your man in the match today?
Ooh, probably Bentancur, just because I think that midfield was a lot more. I don't know, it's just calm. I think obviously Basuma was his first game last time, so obviously you expect him not to be so concise. But I think yeah, it was just nicer with Bentancur in there, and he has a pass on him, Bentancur. I think people don't realize that he's all right with the vision, and even Højbjerg was okay today. So those two, whether you like it or not, I think are our best midfield pairing at the moment. And yeah, they showed why. So Bentancur for me.
All right. Hassan, great to speak to you as always, my friend, and
No
we'll
worries.
see you next time.
Nice one, Hassan.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. Big up. Let's move on to our next guest. And the stain must remain. It's Mr. Brian Daigle.
Well-
How's that shirt smelling?
Oh, mate, you know what? Like I've told you before, it smells like you're walking through the duty-free section. It's got about 15 different aftershaves on it, about 30 different deodorants. It's like, though, do you remember when you were a kid and you're getting your conker ready and you put all the lacquer on it and all that stuff to put it? That's basically what's going on with this shirt. The stain remains and the streak does continue. Much better, wasn't it, guys? Much better performance.
Yes, obviously it was a much better performance. How much do you put that down to having such a solid base at the back that can actually pick a pass?
It did make a huge difference. And you know what? I was saying it on the pump up with Sean earlier. All week, probably Fulham have been training and thinking, right, this is the team they're going to go for, and they're going to play this style and do this. And there was just so many changes. I mean, the Richarlison one, we would have thought instantly would have been for Son. But to see Kulusevski take a rest, I think Longley and Hassan was actually, and quite a few people were talking on the Late Show yesterday. He did look very, very good.
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed with him. It was a thoroughly, and the style of football was more attacking than what we were seeing last season. It was such a good performance. It really was. It really was. Until you said the two things you said, Ben, which made me laugh, is obviously Mitrovic has been quiet. We've done absolutely nothing. And then there's a player I didn't know Fulham had signed, and that was Carlos. Oh dear God! Because as soon as he came on, that's what you said. And yeah, but I think it was a best performance of the season by far for me.
Yeah, and with we had deadline day a couple of days ago, and there was a lot of negativity.
Oh, Brian knows about deadline day.
And he knows all about the deadline day. Does that?
And apparently, I know about negativity. Apparently,
that's what people say. But does that full level of performance put you at ease a bit, or is there still a lot more work to be done?
Listen. There's still work to be done, but that is a lot more of what we expected to see. Listen, like Hassan said, and as we all know, if you play your best players and they're on form, we've got a very, very, very good squad in when you look at it as a whole. And it was a good performance. Again, we made it a little bit more, a bit more hard work than we could have done for ourselves with that Mitrovic goal. Like you said in the commentary, Simeon, it was very, very poor from Romero. Very, very poor from Romero. The finish, you can't knock it. It was outstanding by a player bang on form. Absolutely brilliant finish. And then Hugo came up with that fantastic save. But I want to spend some time very quickly just talking about one player. And that was a player that there was a lot of, is he good, is he not? And Simeon brainwashed me. Because I kind of liked him, but I was going more along the Jesus line. And I have to say, Richarlison was incredible. Absolutely incredible. If he had scored that volley, my God, My God.
What an effort that was.
Shame.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Human Son played better today, but Richarlison, his showboating, his work rate, he is a. I'm delighted with him. I really, really am. I think he is going to be. I think he's already becoming what they call cult hero kind of thing. He was just brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant.
I want to ask your opinion on the wing backs today, Sessegnon and Emerson. What did you make out of them?
Sessegnon, I think, played well. Had a shaky start, but I think at the end, and obviously he looked like he picked up another injury, and it was like, oh no, here we go again with Sess. But then obviously he was creative for the Richarlison goal that was disallowed. I think he had a good game, but he could do better. Royale was okay. Listen, he got forward again, and his final ball, we all know, is seriously lacking. But again, it's another we're undefeated, and it's another win with him in there. But I do want to see if we're going to be rotating regularly now. I do want to see someone else start in that position.
I think something's gone wrong with our cameras here, but
yeah, it's like someone turned out the lights.
Who was your man in the match today, Brian?
Richarlison. I see where you're going with Bentancur. Bentancur was absolutely fantastic. And do you know what? Like I've said before, you notice how valuable a player is once they're out the team. And you saw Bentancur was out against West Ham. And then obviously he's back today, and it looked like a different. It was a much better midfield performance, but I've got to give it to Richarlison. I just think his work rate. Sometimes his passing was a little bit sloppy, but that's something he can work on. But I think what he offers us is basically what Romero does in defence with the shithousery and what he does. And I think it was a great first team start for him. I really enjoyed watching him. For me, it's definitely Richarlison.
After that performance now, we've got a big week, massive week ahead with Marseille and Man City away. Does that give you a bit more confidence now going into those two games?
It doesn't. Do you know, one thing I will mention, and what did give me more confidence as well, it's just seemed weird, is Harry Kane being substituted. It's really good to see that because, like we said, he plays 90 minutes non-stop. All right, they conceded when he went off, but I actually think him having a rest, ever short as it may be, is going to keep him a little bit sharper for the big week because you know for a fact he's starting the next two. Well, he'll always start. But everyone thought it would have been Son. Son went off as well, I believe. Yeah, he did near the end, didn't he? And it was just so. We talk about this rotation, which we saw today with players, but we also saw the two big hitters come off early. I mean, Son mainly has been going off, but to see Kane go off as well, seeing these things happen shows that this will happen. That Conte will rotate. Conte will bring players off that need resting, and it's given me a lot more confidence than if we were going straight into the Champions League and Man City after West Ham. I'm a much happier person with the performance, the result, and seeing those changes today. A much more improved Tottenham today. Much better.
Awesome. Brian, thanks for coming on once again, buddy, and we'll see you next time.
You will do, and enjoy your evening. And send my best wishes to the married couple.
I will do.
Will do.
Big up.
All right, guys. See you later. Come on, you Spurs.
Kia Bob. Super chat here from Powder saying Langley has some vision, and we saw a glimpse today.
Yeah, I think we did a couple of times, and I was really impressed with Clement Langley.
Especially early on, wasn't it?
Yes, in the first half, I think we saw more of it. But very encouraging, and hopefully maybe he starts to displace Davis at some point. I wonder what we'll do at Man City, but we'll see.
All right, let's move on to Dan THFC. Dan, how's it going, man?
It's going good. Win. I mean, I've never seen a fan base be so pissed off at winning. It's actually hilarious.
Every week.
Twitter is it's never gonna change. But yeah, I'm delighted.
Yeah. What were you most delighted about today on the pitch?
Well, I've said at the beginning, from the second that we signed him, Longley, he's a baller. And against teams, today we were not gonna. I was surprised that we had more of the ball because Fulham are a team that likes to have the ball with the way that they're forming. But Longley's a player that I'd like to see us play when we're going to have more of the ball. Against West Ham, our center backs were averaging 100 touches. So Longley would be a player to bring in. He's very creative. He's got a brilliant long ball. Reminds you a bit of I think it was Jan Vertonghen. I confused Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld. They're literally the same person.
Yeah, Jan was on the left. Yeah.
No, but like the passing ability.
Yeah, I think Toby was the one that used to do those pings out
Yeah,
wide.
It reminds me of Toby Alderweireld. Like his passing is unreal. A lot of people, thing that a lot of people are not talking about is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. He was pulling the strings today.
Yeah.
I thought he had a great game. Bentancur as well. There's rarely any negatives except for Son. I mean, I'm really trying hard to support this guy, but you can't put in 5 performances like that and not be getting slate and not be
Do
getting
you not think
benched.
he was a bit better today, though?
I thought today was his best performance of the season, but it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
But you know, you can only if you're off form, right, and we're still winning, and he's gradually getting better, then surely that's a good sign.
It could be, but then when you've got players like Richarlison that would be striving and he's been playing very well. I know he started today, but then you've got Kulusevski who I think played well today. For the minutes that he did play, I think Son. Yeah, as I did say before, this was his best performance of the season, but that standard is not very high. This season has been really poor. But
Well,
with Son,
Dan, you know what game's coming up next? It's Man City away, and
Yeah.
you know he always scores in that game. So if he can score in that game, I think everything will be forgiven.
yeah, definitely, and especially Champions League nights coming back. I think that he will start on midweek. So I think that if he does bring that to form, then his confidence will be super high, and he could definitely do something against Manchester City, which obviously I would love him to do, especially since my father being a City fan, I would absolutely love for him to score a hat-trick or something. But yeah, I'm not
you
sure
get
what it is
bragging
with
rights
Son.
in your household when the two teams play each other every year.
Yeah, well, more like not bragging rights because then he locks me up in my room and punishes me. But yeah, it's fine. I'm okay with this Son form because I am confident that he will be back. It's not going to be like this the whole season. I don't know how much it's going to take, but it will be back, and Sonny will be back firing.
Talk to me about the new guys today. Longley, Richarlison, both getting their first starts of the season. Are you happy with them? And you excited about what they can bring for us?
Yeah, as I said early on about Longley, I've said it from the beginning, he's a baller. He's gonna add a different dimension. Not a lot of people are talking about him as a great signing. I think the only negative about that signing was that we didn't have a buyback clause. So that's like the most negative thing about the signing. But then with Richarlison, that guy, I love him to bits. I absolutely love it to bits. Not only because of his football ability, but because of his shithousery. It's absolutely brilliant to see. And just he brings, like, a lot of people have been arguing about what his energy brings. It does make a difference. Like when he wins a tackle and the whole stadium erupts, it's like the adrenaline running through the players. It does add a dimension that we haven't seen like before. And Son, I love him, but his mentality is nowhere near. Is a completely different thing than Richarlison. Richarlison's a killer, and Son's more of that person that's like he does. I don't want to say like negatively, but he doesn't have that champion mentality where if you bench him, it's gonna affect him negatively instead of positively. Whereas Richarlison, you bench him and it motivates him.
Interesting. Who was your man in the match today?
I'd have to say it's between Bentancur and Richarlison. I think I'm gonna give it to Richarlison though.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Big up, Dan. Actually, one
Thanks for having
question
me.
before you go. Do you feel like if maybe a Perisic was playing instead of Sessegnon, we could have won by a much bigger margin today?
Yeah, I mean, we've been creating chances. A lot of people, I think that in the last few games have been saying that we've been playing negative football, that teams have been dominating us, and I've had this opinion for a while. To dominate a team, you have to have more shots than them. And we've been creating chances, and this has been because of Perisic. So Perisic is just, you could just tell at least we have one player on the wing that can actually cross the football. Like Richarlison, Emerson Royale today, his best cross of the season almost went in the back of the net. So you see the terribleness of his crossing. And then with Perisic, his creativity, it's just so good to have. But the thing about Perisic is not only the thing that he brings is not only his ability, he also brings that experience to Sessegnon, and I've seen it multiple times where they go out for a water break, and then Perisic is giving advice to Sessegnon, and you could really tell that it helps. on terms of the injury of Sessegnon, hopefully it's nothing big. But we know how Sessegnon is with injuries. But if it is big, Perisic isn't a bad player to bring in.
It's a very good player to bring in.
Very, very
Yeah.
good point. But Dan, thanks for coming on today, brother, and we shall speak to you soon.
Thanks for having me. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. Who have we got next? We have got, it's not Brian Daigle.
It's Ross, I think.
Let's bring him in. How's it going, brother?
Hey, pretty good, man. Hello from Seattle, Washington.
hello from London, England. It's good to see you. What did you make out of the game today?
Good, solid performance. Much better. You know, 2 new guys started and played well. That's great. That speaks well to the depth of the squad. Longley, I was glad to see him do well. I saw him in the preseason, and I liked what I saw. A lot of people weren't sold, but I liked what he was doing. He had a really great ball ahead. That one time, it's too bad we couldn't convert that. But had a lot of chances. I mean, didn't convert as many as we should have, but they're there, and that's the important thing. And having Bentancur back is just, that's, as everybody said, I mean, that's everything. I mean, we really see how valuable he is. I mean, Basuma, I don't really want to talk bad about Basuma. I mean, he's his first start, new team, new system, and he's going to be better. But I mean, Bentancur really is central to the way that we want to play.
Well, in terms of the new guys who got their first starts today in a Tottenham shirt, how do you think they fared? Longley and Richarlison?
Did great. I mean, Longley was very solid on that side. He was getting forward a little bit, which I like to see. I know Ben Davis does that too, but he seemed to really want to do that a little more and was looking to do that. And Richarlison, Mr. Richie Rich, man, great. I mean, that guy's so talented. I mean, I really didn't, I knew of him and I knew he was good, but when you really get to see him kind of, week in, week out, I mean, that guy, he's a baller. He can play. And, shithousing is back on the menu, boys.
Ross, there's been a lot of talk this season about Heung-min Son. How do you think he fared today?
Better. I mean, he's going to get there. I mean, Sonny goes through these spells all the time. I mean, this is a little bit longer and a little bit more worse, I would say, in the past, but he's going to come out of it. He always does. I mean, we get frustrated, and even I'm like, oh, Sonny, come on, man, you got to finish that. But he's going to do it. He's going to come good. And the more important thing is Harry Kane's banging in goals early in the season. I mean, usually it's the other way. Usually Harry, we're going, oh, come on, Harry, let's go. But Sonny's going to get back on track. I know he is. I mean, you have to start that guy. I mean, he's pro class. He'll work through it.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And what do you think was the difference today between how we were playing today compared to our previous displays this season?
I just think we were getting down better. We were creating more chances. Getting the ball ahead more. Looking to win it and break out kind of quick. Still a little few things here and there. I mean, they never really threatened that much. I mean, yes, they did get the goal. Romero kind of made a little gamble there, but that's his game, and that was just a great shot. I mean, you can't really say much about that. That was a fantastic goal.
Definitely.
Yeah. And man of the match today?
Man of the match. I'm going to go with Højbjerg for me.
All right.
I think he was really solid, and he got that goal, and which is nice to see, him start scoring goals. Now, which he plays more forward when he plays with Denmark. So he is capable of getting up there and being more forward and being an option there. And it's really nice to see him bang it in because, the guy's a warrior. He gives everything. He works so hard, so important to the success of the team. So it's nice to see him get a goal in there,
All right, Ross, thanks for coming on today. Sorry we can't stay on for too long, but we're under time constraints today. But thank you for coming on.
That's great. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. Big up to Ross there. We got a super chat from the Assassinator saying, I can't see Emerson in the UCL, I beg. I mean, I don't think Emerson was that bad today.
It was okay. Nothing. No, I don't think it was a case where it was so bad where you got to start worrying about him in the UCL. I mean, if you can play Premier League and play UCL,
Exactly.
I think he's fine. He's played big games in the UCL as well. In Premier League against Liverpool, City had some really good games.
Really
against
good
the
games, yeah.
Best opposition.
Like man, the match performances.
So yeah, no problem with him.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next guest. And it shouldn't be bad news today because it's good news because Spurs have won 2-1 and Dane Scarlett has scored 2 goals today as well. What's the bad news today, Carl?
Nothing, mate. Just that's my new name.
Oh, that's your name. Okay.
Yeah,
Why is that your name?
I told Brian Daigle about 1 o'clock this morning in name of a WE superstar. Bad news, Barrett.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his name.
What did you make out of the game today, Carl?
Brilliant. I loved it. Like,
What did you love about it?
what?
What did you love about it?
Højbjerg scoring again. I think that's what 7 or 8 goals for Tottenham in the league.
Is it that many? Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to mess with Kyle. He knows his stats.
I know my stats, and yeah, you don't want to mess with me.
Definitely not. Who was man of the match
Yeah,
today,
no.
Kyle?
Yeah, and another brilliant performance. And Kane's now equalled the record scored in London derbies, equalled Thierry Henry, and he's now third, 188 goals, and he's got his eyes on Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer. So I think he can, get to 200 towards the end of the season. So yeah, he's now got what 5, I think, and
5 goals this season.
Yeah, Mitro's got what 7.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Harry is brilliant. He needs to score more.
Mm.
Well, what was your opinions on Sonny today?
I thought he actually played brilliant. Like, I thought he assisted Kane for the second, because I was saying, Kane and Son linking up again. That partnership has been going for decades now. Like, Kane and Son linking up. I thought Sonny played well. Wing back, Seth Young, another brilliant performance. Royale, I thought he played brilliant as well. But people are probably going to say played bad, but I thought it was actually quite brilliant today, Royale. And Kane and Son going off, I think, was probably the best for the club, because you've got Champions League coming up, and then you've got Sonny's team that he likes to score against, Man City, so Sonny's favourite opponent. So, probably best to take them off, because we got a good week ahead of us. Then, I thought we played brilliant. A man of match.
We go on man of the match. Yeah, go on.
I have to give it to Harry Clase. Like,
nice.
Yeah, and another brilliant performance. Like, he loves scoring against City. I know Son does, but Kane to score another hat trick in the Champions League, because I believe he scored hat trick Europa League, Champions League, and Conference League. So another hat trick in the Champions League would be brilliant. I'd like it to be. Son, he's definitely going to score Wednesday. Kulu, but everyone enjoy the game. Whoever's going, enjoy, and I'll be watching as well. So enjoy. And I believe Sim predicted 2-1, and you did, Ben. Is that right?
No, I predicted 3-0 and Ben predicted 2-1.
Oh, but before I go, I believe Sim, you picked Starman Brennan Johnson, who got on the score sheet. Who did Ben go for? Kiefer Moore didn't start.
What's he doing?
No points, Ben.
No minutes. No minutes. Never mind points. No minutes.
Well, it's time you brought in Kulusevski, mate. Because as Barry said the other night, he ain't putting in that fourth Salah, so there's no point in keeping him, mate. Time to bring in Kulusevski, mate. No more Salah. He's been poor. I'm sorry, but I don't care what anyone says. It's Kulusevski or no one. So I'm off to listen to Who Let the Dogs Out.
Big up, Carl. Big up, Carl. Thanks for coming on today. We'll speak to you next time.
Nice one, Carl.
Right. Bye-bye.
Come on.
Bye.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going from one goat to the next. Let's go to the Jorical. Jory, how's it going, man?
It's going great.
Wow, you didn't start on mute this time.
What a
surprise. No, it's you guys muting me. I'm a professional. You know? I work in films, guys. So,
Jory, what did you make out of the game today?
I thought it was brilliant, to be honest. I thought it was exactly the Conte machine we all expected, like my super chat said. You know, it's that kind of secure and efficient and sensible build-up that really minimizes risks and creates a lot of opportunities. And like you brought up some brilliant stats there, the 10 shots on goal. Since when does Tottenham only score 2 goals when we have 10 shots on goal? Usually we'll be scoring 5 goals in that kind of a scenario. So just like you guys concluded, I think we shouldn't be too worried about that. But also, I would also say, like, we did put the game at jeopardy there, and Mitrovic is here to stay. Mitrovic's gonna go to a big club soon enough. He's definitely playing his heart out, and clearly a true Premier League striker. So, and I thought it was very, very. What should I say? Like careless. Let's just use that word. It was very careless of Romero the way he defended him, not only for the goal, but actually the attack right after that. He was also too loose on him. So that's unnecessary for sure. And this is kind of what I like. I think one of my first calls where I was a little bit heated and not happy with our team. The one where I called Sonny disgraceful and so on. Or disgraceful performance. Sonny is never disgraceful, by the way. But that was all about, like, now everything else is clicking, and even the other teams and the league in general is working with us. Now we can't have our senior players not stepping up. They need to be there as well. And this is, if our senior players were anywhere near their normal behavior, this game would have been out of sight. But because Sonny is not there, for sure, that's a big part of it. Although I thought Sonny had a very good game today, I'm not worried anymore. I think the goal's coming next game. I'm actually a little bit. I was kind of convinced just from the first 20 minutes that Sonny couldn't get away with not scoring this game, but he was super unlucky as well. Even though it's also a little bit of his touch. That luck is gonna go with you when you're on your game and go against you when you're not on your game. So. But I was very happy with Sonny's playing today. I think he did a lot for the team. I saw his touch is now really soft. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the ball, he was very pressed at many situations, but he managed to keep the ball near him and shield the ball and so on. So so yeah, it's only a matter of time now with Sonny. And I was happy to see him actually after he got subbed off. He was kind of smiling, and I think he'll be okay.
Jory, talk to me about the performances of the 2 new signings we had today in the starting lineup. We had Longley, we had Richarlison making their first starts. How did they do for you?
Exactly. I thought Longley was beautiful to see. I mean, like, this made me feel better about how the transfer window ended, because at least we have him, though. We have like, I knew he was a ball playing center backs, but seeing him in action in our team, in our system, he's an upgrade from Davis, and I have really no complaints about Davis, but Davis not maybe the biggest ball playing center back, but he's still good enough for most situations, and I think maybe Davis is more of a sure thing in terms of defense. I don't know. I thought Longley was good in defense, very good in defense, to be honest. But his our build-up play was so solid today. And it wasn't for lack of pressing. They tried it, but when you have build-up play on both flanks, now the press is much more of a risky proposition for the opposition, because once you go, the other flank is going to get the space it needs, and you cross it over, and off to the races are Tottenham, and that's not what you want, So you could see they only dared to press X amount. If that had been Sanchez, and Davis, then then we would have seen more pressing for sure, So I was happy to see that. And of course, also just having Bentancur and Højbjerg back and playing as brilliantly as they went. And I love to see how systematically and how organized they dropped down and were part of the build, like playing out at the back. I felt like that was Conte tweaking his own kind of system there, because Højbjerg's done it, but they went down, both of them now, so there was always a really good out for everybody, and that was what we were lacking when we were under most pressure with West Ham. So yeah, I was really happy to see it. I thought our midfield was amazing today. And Richarlison, what can you say, man? He's amazing. Like, that volley was absolutely amazing. His runs, the whole thing. He's the player of the match for me. Man of the match for me, for sure. Yeah,
taken to Tottenham like a pigeon to the air.
Yes, for sure. And like I would even say Richarlison is here to upgrade Tottenham. I would say players like Sonny and stuff like that. The street attitude of Richarlison, the feisty fight and so on, will rub off on even the senior players. I think they will get, and we've seen it already. These guys have become a little bit closer to the nasty C word, as Mourinho coined it, and I think we'll continue to see. Like, I think Kane is much more of a nasty, hard ass now than he's been previous years, and I think Sonny will get there as well, as far from Sonny's actual personality that this is. I think these Brazilian boys will definitely rub off on Sonny, and we'll get a lot more attitude in the whole squad. So yeah, I was super happy to see it. I was super happy to see Lloris as well. He was back at it as his world-class self. Not only was his saves really good, I thought when there was something critical, he was very vocal. I could see him really shouting out information and just being the leader at the back that he needs to be. And I think I mean, you could say we got away with it, lucky touches here and there, but I think we played in a way where luck was going to fall our way in terms of defense as well, so. But I would actually say, guys, I would say it's man of the match on the pitch was Richarlison. Man of the match overall, maybe I'll go for Conte there. I thought Conte really, it's one of his best games with us, I think, considering what we've just been through and how he's working it, how he subbed. I think the fact that he subbed up Kane today and not Sonny, the fact that he started Richarlison but kept Sonny in and stuff like this is all kind of brilliant strokes from Conte as well. And
in terms of Conte, Jory, do you think the performance today, the manner of the performance today, kind of eases some of the fans' nerves that we're getting on, the last couple of weeks?
I think, I mean, at least, I mean, I can get nervous, especially about how Conte feels, and I think that now, like, I think also Conte, he piles the pressure on when he has an opportunity. Now the window's over. Now he doesn't care about that. That's history now. Now we need to go to work. Now he's working with what he has, and he's going to work with that. If it comes down to in November that it's obvious that we're left lacking, then he'll be vocal about it, I'm sure, because then he'll just say, like, I'm getting max effort out of them, and this is what we can do, But I don't think we're even close to our max effort anyway, So I think it's all business now with Conte. I think Conte, yes, he would have liked, especially attacking option more, but it's not like I've said. I don't believe that Conte can't get good things out of Lucas and Jill. So we're not in trouble. Like, the back line is our biggest weakness for me, but I mean, if they stay healthy, we'll be okay, I think, for sure.
All right. Brilliant, Jory. Thanks for coming on once again, and we shall see you very soon.
Yes, take care, guys. Great show as always. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Declan
Big
Rice
up.
has called out VAR in a tweet. He said,
"Yeah, I haven't seen the incident, but I'm seeing a lot of backlash on it to social media to that decision today."
Rice said it's the most disgraceful VAR decision that's happened since VAR has been brought through.
What was your opinion on it?
From what I've seen, it looked horrible decision. Terrible decision. I don't know why. Basically, I haven't seen the full thing, but I've just seen a little clip of it. Bowen kind of is running. Mendy comes to claim the ball at his feet, dives at his feet, and then Bowen kind of jumps over him and clips like Mendy's shoulder as he's jumping over him. And Mendy went down like he was injured, and West Ham scored, and they gave a foul for it.
I see. There's a good point Jory makes on Lloris, isn't it? Because, you know, he didn't have the best of games against West Ham, and he came under a lot of criticism from the fan base. But this happens time and time again, and he always responds in this way, doesn't he?
Lloris is a world-class goalkeeper. I've said it time and time again. And just because you have a few bad games, you know, no one stops saying that Alisson or Edison are good just because.
Or even Mendy.
Or Mendy, and he made a lot more mistakes than Lloris when they make mistakes. Yet Lloris, whenever he makes a mistake or two, people always coming out the woodwork saying, "I told you, rubbish." Yeah. This guy is elite. He's an elite goalkeeper, and I'm so happy he's still at the club. I don't see his performance has even dropped, even though with his age, I still think he's top notch. So I'm very happy with him, and I thought another strong display for him today, and even like claiming for crosses and things today, absolutely brilliant. Obviously, the distribution, that's never going to be his strong suit, but the other things, he's a top goalkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the next guest, and that is Rishab. Rishab, how you doing, my friend?
Hey guys, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. Obviously, always good after 3 points, especially as well when you got two new signings in there, and you got our diamond boy Dane Scarlett scoring a double for Portsmouth today. I mean, all good news today. All good news. What did you make out of the game?
Well, I guess this is the best game we have had so far. In terms of the aggressiveness in the beginning that we showed in the match, it was pretty cool to see, because this is the first game where the whole team was aggressive. You know, leaving Kane and Son aside, who are the best players that we have. But if you look at the performances from the other teams, Sessegnon was in advanced positions all the time. He had scoring opportunities. If he would have scored, he would have a whole lot better game. He did play good. But yeah, from the whole team, this was the best performance. Even Son, he almost, had chances to score his goal. One came off the bar. And if he would have scored, he would have got more confidence, and it would have been a better few next games for him in terms of confidence. Yeah. So great performance from the team.
Yeah, definitely, really, really good. We had a couple of new signings make their full debuts as well. Were you impressed with what you saw?
Yeah, I wish they get more opportunities, because if we start with Longley, he has shown previously that he can go with the ball forward. He has good dribbling and passing abilities as well. He didn't have too much of the ball today, but there was an occasion where he moved with the ball forward, and then he passed backwards. But it does give us a glimpse of how good he is when he carries the ball forward. And he almost scored a goal. It went into the side netting. So I think maybe in terms of more of a physical presence in the team, Longley is definitely someone who can bring something new to the team in terms of physical abilities.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, talk to me about the wing-backs today, because there's a bit of a mixed reaction. Some people, Sessegnon and Emerson, had a good game. Some people saying they were wasteful today. What was your opinion?
Yeah, I would say they had the best game so far out of all the games they have played, because I know the Emerson gets a lot of criticism, but if you look at the guy, the only bad thing with him is his crosses. But defensively, the guy never makes a mistake. He never gives off the ball. He is physically strong. He can hold the ball as good as a midfielder does. And he is he has an engine on him. He runs pretty much the whole game. So if he can improve on his crossing abilities, he can be good. But he's trying to do less of that, so that he can give more grounded passes and not lose the ball as he does. So I guess he is going to improve, but the guy is improving day by day. And Sessegnon has the best game so far. He was really aggressive. He was getting up and down the pitch, and he almost scored a goal. If it was not for the keeper, who had a really good game, we would have been like 5-1 or 4-1.
Absolutely. And man of the match today?
Man of the match, I would give it to Bentancur. And then and I'm with Ben on this, the only reason behind this is when he is on the pitch, the team looks completely different, and it looks more like a Conte team. He's like Conte on the pitch, because he keeps on giving instructions to everyone. He covers up for everyone when anyone is out of position, and he runs all the time. The engine on that guy is so good because he's running almost at the same pace throughout the game. It's not like he's careless or he's running slow. That never happens. And you see the way Conte plays. Bentancur, if you don't have him in the team, there is so much pressure at the back, which we saw in our last games, because he relieves so much out of the pressure. The guy's passing abilities are something that goes unnoticed because he literally doesn't look at the player around him, and he just passes the ball equally good with his left and right feet. And then even without the ball, he's almost putting pressure. He's the only one in our team who puts pressure on the team. So I guess that's the only player in our team, and if he doesn't play, we'll look completely different. So Bentancur for me is the man of the match. But at the same time, Richarlison also deserves a lot of praise. And the reason behind, because he is the only player that can give both Son and Kane rest. Because we saw he was playing at the right side. Because initially he played on the left side, where Son was playing when he came as substitute. Today he showed his versatility when he played on the right side, and he was pretty good. And then when he started playing for Kane, in Kane's position, he showed how good he can hold the ball. And the guy is a fox, you cannot get the ball of him. He holds the ball really well. He fakes too many times in the game. So I guess a great performance from the team. And definitely from the new signings.
Big up, Rishab. Thanks for coming on today, my friend, and we shall speak to you next time.
Cheers, guys. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, Bob.
See you, Rishab.
All right, and I think we move on to the last caller of the day, the star of the pre-match pump-up, Mr. Sean Butler. Sean, how's it going today? Thanks for your help on the pre-match pump-up today.
You're welcome. You're welcome, boys. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. We're good. Look, 6 games, 0 losses, 2 draws, 4 wins. How are you feeling from the start of the season today?
From the start of the season, or
the start of the season, the game today? Talk me through your thoughts.
Look, I think today was the day. I said it at the very end of your pre-match pump-up show. I said today is the day. Let me get my microphone out of the way. Today is the day where we need not just the 3 points, but we need a performance that can settle everybody's nerves. That can, because there's a lot of like jittery. Like there's a lot of people in the community, one side or the other, that are worried about various things. We need a commanding performance where I said at the end of the show, 0 minutes to 90 minutes, where we dominate and we don't make any silly mistakes and we just go and get the 3 points. And if we can do that convincingly with a scoreline, or whether we get the 3 points with an unconvincing scoreline but a convincing performance, I think that will calm everybody down. And today was exactly what I wanted and exactly what we got. I thought we were absolutely in control of that game for the entire 90 minutes. And I was, before we get into the individual players, I just thought it was exactly what the community, exactly what Tottenham needed. And we should all be, however you celebrate, whichever vessel you choose to enjoy your celebration, you should be enjoying it right now, because today was a brilliant performance.
What do you think was the difference? Why do you think there was such a compared to maybe the last 2 performances? What changes were there today for you?
I think first of all the changes in the team, I think they were unpredictable. I was saying this again to Brian. I think Brian mentioned it earlier. Brian made a really fascinating point to me about being unpredictable, that Fulham wouldn't have prepared for the specific 11 that was starting. And I was saying it in a different way over the last couple of weeks. I feel like Tottenham have become predictable when we had Emerson and Sanchez on the right-hand side. That clever tactical managers like Tuchel and David Moyes, for example, they would have seen Tottenham play in this kind of distorted, contorted 4-3-3 or 3-4-3 where we push the ball down the left-hand side. And if you're going to be open, if you're going to lose the ball, you're going to be open down their right, our left. And they took advantage of it very well against West Ham and against Chelsea, whereas last season most teams would just push their ball down their left-hand side and try and take on our weaker players, which were traditionally down the right. Defensively, whilst we're very solid down the right with those previous players, we had nothing going forward, and so it resulted in certain consequences which clever tactics could take advantage of. Today, I think the 11 had far more balance to it. Bringing Romero back into the team allowed him to be able to play the ball and spray the ball. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when Dyer had the ball in the first half, his first thought was to look left towards Longley, and that I think was something that maybe the other teams, like, if you're unpredictable, it means that you're difficult to play against. And I think today we were unpredictable in the way that we were spraying the ball around. I got to give a shout out to Longley. I thought he was absolutely brilliant today, and I want to see more of him. Nothing against Ben Davies. I think he's been a very good and a steady performer for our team. But I thought Longley on the left and Romero on the right allowed so much more width to be brought into the team today, and so much more access with their range of passing into the not just the midfield two, but the front three as well.
Do his stats precede him then, Longley?
Yeah, I've got the stats in front of me. I said to you,
here we go.
I'm
Who's got a free half an hour? Let's go.
No, I'm not going to bore you with it. But he has an average of 92% in his previous 2 seasons with long ball passes, and across medium and long ball passes. Today he had a 90% accuracy, 54 from 60. And most of those were progressive, right? The vast majority were progressive. I'm really relieved as a content creator that when he got his chance, he took it in the way that I hoped. And then if you remember in the first 2 minutes of the game, when he first got the ball, he didn't look to pass. He looked to run the ball forward and make a progressive run as well. So he's everything that I hoped he would be. But I'm not going to give him all the credit, because I think there were so many other players today that I thought Richarlison. And you know what? I'm going to take my chance here.
Wax lyrical about Richarlison. Come on, Sean. We've been waiting for this.
No, I'm going to hold my hands up, right? I'll be honest. You remember I was very, very reserved about spending 60 million quid on Richarlison. I was wrong, man. This guy was out of this world today. Like, if you look at his stats, if you look at his heat map, I'm sure you guys will look at it over the week when you're doing your reviews. He wasn't playing as a right wing forward today. He was playing as a number 6 almost. He was absolutely everywhere, doing everything. He had more tackles than most of our defenders. He had more interceptions than most of our midfielders. His passing, his ability was absolutely flawless. I thought if it wasn't for a little bit of sometimes in the first half, he had a bit of a heavy touch and a heavy pass. But generally speaking, I thought Richarlison was phenomenal. And I'm happy to hold my hands up when I'm wrong, and I'm very happy to be wrong, because Richarlison looks like he's the real deal, and I couldn't be happier to be wrong about him.
And he got a booking for scoring a goal which didn't count, which was a funny moment. But hopefully he just needs a goal, doesn't he? Hopefully he'll get his goal sooner rather than later. But yeah, he looks like a real find. But who would you say your man of the match was?
It was a tough one. I was between Højbjerg and Richarlison. I probably would give it to. I don't really care who got it out of the two. I don't even know who got it officially, but I thought Højbjerg was brilliant. I thought Richarlison was one of those two. I'd probably give it to Højbjerg because he got the goal, but it was a very, very close divide.
A lot of candidates weren't there today. A lot of candidates for man of the match. Really good performance. And on a performance like that, does that give you now more confidence going into this mad week that we've got in the Champions League and Man City away?
Yeah, it's a brilliant headache to have in what you do against Marseille, thinking about what you've got ahead against Manchester City. For me, obviously, the tough decisions are whether who do you keep out, who do you keep in the front three. I thought it was brilliant to see Conte have the confidence to take off Harry Kane in the 74th minute. I mean, it would be a fantastic quiz question. When was the last time Harry Kane was subbed outside of the last 5 minutes of the game? I can't remember how long ago that was, right? But
what minute did he come off?
74th, 75th, something like that. Yeah, right. 77, something like that. Yeah. And look, he came off when we were 2-0 up, and then we lost that. We conceded the goal, and that's squeaky bum time. But Decky came on and was absolutely fantastic as well, even though he only had 15, 20 minutes, whatever. It's brilliant to see the competition in places. I had no doubt in my mind that Decky would come on and rise up and try and do what he did. I forget the game it was previously when he got subbed in the second half, late in the last season when he got subbed off, or he got dropped, rested, whatever you want to call it, for poor performance in the previous game, then came on in the 60th minute for Lucas and then just absolutely destroyed. Was it Leicester? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic to see that he's got that mentality of saying, yeah, rest me if you want. When I come back on, I'm going to try and win, regain my place. In terms of like to answer your question directly, Ben, I've got full confidence ahead of Marseille. I would probably whatever Conte's whoever it is in Conte's mind of those front four that is the most or the least important, I would play them on against Marseille. I think that Marseille is an easier game than Man City, and I think that Sonny has to play against Man City. So I'd even be okay with seeing Sonny, Richarlison, and Kulu play against Marseille, as long as Sonny gets told the reason why he's not playing against Marseille is because he's important against Man City.
All right, Sean, thanks for coming on today, my friend. We shall speak to you soon.
Love you guys. Take care.
Nice one, Sean. Good to see you,
Up the
mate.
Spurs, come on. Big up. So that's the end of another fan show. We've got a few super chats before we go. 2J is saying Højbjerg has more goals this season than Son, Kulu and Richarlison combined.
Right, well, there you go.
And there was another one here from... Oh, there's two more actually. There's one here from Gamiga Akiniola, and he says, come on, you Spurs. Big up.
Yes.
And Awesome Or says, R9 has officially claimed 60 million. How was great? Who was great? He was great.
He was great.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
All right. So that is your super chats. That is another day, another match day gone. Big week ahead. Wednesday night, Champions League returns to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and ending the week up in Manchester in another difficult game in the Premier League. Some would say maybe the most difficult game in the Premier League against Erling Haaland. I mean, I was about to ask you how we're going to contain Erling Haaland, but we've got a whole week to discuss that. So
Villa seem to be doing a decent job at the moment.
yeah, they are. Half-time 0-0. But look, that is it from us today. Spurs still unbeaten in the season, 6 games in. Loving that. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.